Welcome back to Mets Nets Jets D podcast, coming to you Friday, November 22nd. Just a few days before this big Week 12 Sunday slate for NFL Draftkings. I'm coming to you with the picks and stacks video. Obviously, we're going to get into this. I'm going to try to steer you in the right way. There's a lot of high-priced wide receivers. The toughest position, I think, is going to be running back this week. And you're going to need to find some value at tight end to pay up for these wide receivers as well. So let's hop into these game stacks. Most importantly, that's where we're going to start. Which, if you get the correct stack, then you already have the base and core of your lineups that's going to get you to the top of those tournaments, okay? Or cash games, or whatever type of player that you are, okay? I preferably like tournaments because I want to get that big money, but people are more strategic and smart. Well, not more strategic and use cash games, and they're satisfied with just doubling up their money, which is totally fine. So my first stack that I want to focus on, just going in order. Don't really care for the Denver Buffalo game, even though I do like Philip Lindsay. Buffalo's run defense is not that good, but Josh Allen does have a tough task to go up against that particular Denver defense that's been playing totally better with Vic Fangio running the helm. Skipping that Giants and Chicago Bears game. Don't really care for that one. Pittsburgh, Cincinnati. We do have Tyler Boyd with potential to have like a ton of targets, which he's been doing anyway. But Pittsburgh has a very stout defense, and I don't really care for Jalen Samuels. He's going to be splitting carries with him, Benny Snell, and the fact that Mason. No, I don't think Mason Rudolph playing. Well, I'm not touching that game. So, first game I'm going to start with is going to be this Miami at Cleveland. We're going to finally, can we please get the onslaught for the Cleveland Browns? We've been waiting all year. We thought they were going to be like this huge team, but they've struggled coming out the gate. They're finding themselves. We have controversy on the defensive side with Myles Garrett and that whole thing. But that doesn't disregard from the fact that they're facing the Miami Dolphins, who have came back down to earth. This is still a very bad team. Mayfield, the players I'm focusing on going to be Mayfield, Kareem Hunt, Odell Beckham, and Jarvis Landry. Obviously, I'm not going to have all these guys in my one lineup, but most of these guys have a potential. Okay, Baker Mayfield with Odell Beckham. This is the perfect matchup for Odell Beckham to finally have a huge game. The only game all year that he really went off was against the Jets in week 2. Other than that, this man has not even seen a touchdown since week 2. It has to come. This has to be the matchup. You saw John Brown last week do the same thing to the corner. The corner name is Needham. Yeah. Odell Beckham's going to be facing him as well for this matchup. He has a huge advantage in the 40 speed times. We got Odell Beckham running like a 4.4, obviously. Huge speed advantage. Baker Mayfield, please get on point, and that can lead to the running game closing out the game with Nick Chubb and or Kareem Hunt. I like both, preferably. Nick Chubb is getting 20 plus carries against this bad run defense, as you can see, 30th against the run. And then Kareem Hunt, he has a huge equity in the receiving game. 7 for 44 in his first game with 9 targets, and 6 for 46 with 8 targets in the second game, which was pretty much a blowout as well. So you probably see Kareem Hunt still getting work, and he's just at a cheaper price at $5,600. I love both of these guys. And then Jarvis Landry, another great option. 3 straight weeks with a touchdown. And look at these targets. You got 13, 10, and 7, and all in 3 weeks in a row. These are all great plays that I like on the Cleveland Browns side. If I'm going to bring it back, I would bring it back with Devontae Parker. since the injury to their rookie wide receiver, Devontae Parker, has clearly seen a jump in targets. As you can see, week 10, 10 targets, 5 for 69. And then against Buffalo, another 10 targets, 7 for 135. As long as Ryan Fitzpatrick is the quarterback at helm, then Devontae Parker has upside, definitely. So let me put him in here just so you can see all the plays I like from both sides. If you want to try Mike Gesicki, I'm not going to lean towards him, but he is an option right here. He looked like he's balding, first of all. But third of all, the key point where the fantasy points are not totally there. He did have an okay game against the Jets. But the targets, consistency, that's what you like to see. 6. And then I'm not going to say the next two numbers, but look, he has consistency. All he needs to do is fall in the end zone. He hasn't yet so far this year. He is an option. And then, very, very sneaky play. Since Kalen Ballage is completely trash, there has been a little uptick in the talk about Patrick Laird. I know you're like, who the heck is that? Well, in the last drive against Buffalo, Laird finally got in the game and reeled off like 5-6 catches in one drive. Hopefully, maybe he can get some more run or more work at 3,400 salary saver. That if he does that same 11.8, that's kind of worth it right there. But um, hopefully he gets more work because they see Kalen Ballage averaging 1.9 yards a carry is not the guy. So that is another secret super sleeper option. Probably throw him in one lineup and see what happens, just to see, because that is very risky because you do not know. But he's 3,400 and he is going to be used in the passing game, so why not? So I love that Miami and Cleveland game. We're going to clear it. We're going to move on to the next game. This huge total right here, Tampa Bay and Atlanta. I like both sides. I like Matt Ryan. Let's start with the Atlanta Falcons. I love Matt Ryan. Do not want to touch any of these running backs. Devonta Freeman is out for this game. We have Julio Jones. We have Calvin Ridley. So ever since the trade of Sanu, Calvin Ridley's usage has gone up, and the fact that Austin Hooper is out as well has helped Calvin Ridley. He just went off 8 for 143 and a touchdown against the Carolina Panthers. But this, I feel, has to be the Julio Jones game. We've been waiting since week 3 for a touchdown from this man. Since week 8 for a 100-yard reception game. I think he gets both of those against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Literally the worst pass defense, pass funnel to go against. This is perfect for him. He's still getting the targets. He's still getting catches. It's just he's not getting lucky. So Julio Jones, this is your week. I'm probably gonna lock him in. Him and Odell, I'm gonna lock in basically almost every lineup. And then if you want to bring it back, I'm not touching Russell Gage for Atlanta. No, I'm not doing that. So if you want to bring it back, obviously we have two main guys right here. We have Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. Mike Evans is matchup proof. This guy, unless he's going against a elite corner, he might get hampered, and then James should start throwing to Chris Godwin. But there's no number one corner for Atlanta, and I can see both of these guys, Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, going off. Chris Godwin in this matchup, the last time he faced Atlanta, where was it? Tennessee. He hasn't faced him yet, but I feel like it's more of a Chris Godwin game than a Mike Evans game, or you just play both. So if I was running this game stack, you would run it like this, but then you have to find cheap options at running back, clearly, because you got 4,100 left. You get your cheap defense, say it's the Bengals, and you get you a cheap tight end, say it's going to be Vance McDonald with all those wide receivers out, and you have somewhat of an idea that you can you probably can afford one higher price running back and then go cheap from there. You could probably throw Laird in there if you really want to get risky and don't care. But that's just an idea, okay? But this is a total that's going to go over 40, maybe into the 50s. Uh, both of these teams have pass funnels. I love both passing games. Main guys to focus on: Julio Jones, like I said, Calvin Ridley, Mike Evans, and Chris Godwin. I love. Don't really care for tight ends on either side of the ball or the running backs because I don't like Ronald Jones in this matchup as well. So that's going to be all for the Tampa Bay and Atlanta stack. That's two already that I've given you. We're going to move on. We can go. I don't need to tell you about the New Orleans Saints. The Saints are pretty obvious, but you gotta wait on news about Marcus Lattimore. So obviously in this stack we have Breeze, Kamara, Latavius Murray. Latavius Murray is gonna be very high owned. So if you not Latavius Murray, Alvin Kamara is gonna be very high owned. So if you want to pivot off that, because I can see this going both ways. I can see both of these guys going off, just like Kamara and Ingram used to do years ago, or 2 years ago. Now I think Murray and Kamara can do the same thing as well. Michael Thomas at 9,300 is a guaranteed smash play every week. Consistency in targets. It didn't matter which quarterback, and consistency in reception yards. And the man can get in the end zone as well. Dynamic weapon. He's just running short routes, really. But if you want to bring it back, I would bring it back with DJ Moore. Like I said, it depends on Marcus Lattimore's status. We'll find out. You got to check up on rotoworld.com. As you can see, the last 3 weeks, 10, 11, 15 targets. He's getting peppered. He's producing, but he's not falling in the end zone. If he had fallen in the end zone, we're talking about clear-cut number one wide receiver easily. But we need those touchdowns from you, DJ Moore. I would love it. Other than that, Curtis Samuel has been up and down. Greg Olsen has been inconsistent. I think this is a one-sided affair between New Orleans and Carolina. I think they hold in check Christian McCaffrey, who's pretty much game proof. It doesn't matter, really. If they're down, then he's going to get, like you see, 11 catches. He's going to have one of those type games if they're down. So, obviously, Christian McCaffrey, you bring him back. These are my two favorite options on Carolina's side. DJ Moore, Christian McCaffrey, and I do like the Saints D against Kyle Allen as well. We're going to move on to our next stack. One of my... my favorite? No. But this is one of my favorites. Yeah, we got... Looking at the games, we got two left. All right. First, we're going to start off with this Oakland and New York Jets. We have two bad pass defenses, even though the Jets have been playing a little bit better with our blitz schemes. That can throw Derek Carr off. If I'm choosing a quarterback, I'm choosing Sam Darnold, obviously. I don't really care for Derek Carr. Because really in the passing game, he has one option, Derek Carr. Darren Waller has been good, but fallen off lately. But if I'm choosing one side, I'm choosing a side that's been clicking recently. Give me Darnold, give me Crowder. And I believe this is going to be Robbie Anderson's week finally. Please. 4,800, huge boomer bust play, but if he goes off, you're going to be the only guy with him and rising straight to the top of the leaderboards because he's going to be so low owned. People are so fed up with this man and giving up on him. I think against this bad, very, very bad pass defense in the Oakland Raiders, 30th ranked, as you can see, Sam Darnold can get things clicking with Robbie Anderson. He has a favorite target in Jamison Crowder, as you saw last week. Consistency 22, 19, 18. Touchdowns 3 weeks in a row. And then Ryan Griffin has been the short yardage guy. Sam Darnold loves tight ends, okay? 5 for 109 and a touchdown against the Washington Redskins. Ryan Griffin is another option, but if I'm bringing it back, I'm bringing it back with Tyrell Williams. We do have a problem with taller wide receivers, and Tyrell Williams fits that mold. I'm not on the Hunter Renfrow wave, and I do not care for Josh Jacobs this week. We can stop the run. I don't think it's a. I don't think he goes off. Matter of fact, I don't think he gets 100 yards rushing. I think we contain him, and I don't think he's worth that 7,400 because he has a huge price jump with that. With that price jump, he's gonna have to bring you minimum 20, and he's only did that 3 times all year. Um, Not minimum 20, like 25. Because before he was really cheap, 5K, 6.5. But now this huge jump, 74. No, not against the number one ranked DVOA rush defense in the New York Jets. And I'm very one-sided on this game. Give me the Jets in this against Oakland. And we continue the winning streak. All right. Last but not least, I'm going to be running a lot of this Seattle and Philly game. All right. And I'm going to be on the Philly side. I think Wentz finally bounces back. Horrible performance last week against the Patriots. He's been very up and down this year, but he has the potential to go off, and he has the weapons. Alshon Jeffrey should be back, and he's super, super cheap. I like that option as well. Then you have a number one tight end in Zach Ertz, and then Dallas Goedert also is an option. Where is he at? If I can find this man, and I think it's GE. I can't find this guy. There you go, GOE. All right. So we got Carson Wentz, we got Alshon Jeffrey, Zach Ertz, Dallas Goedert. Seattle's defense is way worse than the Philadelphia Eagles defense. Philly is home, and they've been much improved since they got back their 2 corners back from injury. And you saw what they did against the Patriots was impressive. So I think they can get ahead in this game against the Seattle Seahawks and that bad defense, and then probably most likely you'll have one of those Russell Wilson type games where he'll try to come back. But I think somehow, some way, the Philadelphia Eagles will win this game, and I do think Alshon Jeffrey, Carson Wentz are a huge reason why. All right, and Zach Ertz. So I love this game. If I'm bringing it back, we got to wait on news for Tyler Lockett. So far, he's limited in practice Thursday. Do not have the update on Friday. Just check back on Sunday morning on rotoworld.com or Fantasy Labs NFL on Twitter. All right, and then you get your update on Lockett because he is an option. Lockett, or I'm feeling Josh Gordon if he's out. Josh Gordon was leaned on surprisingly in his first game against the San Francisco 49ers in that win, that last drive. They trusted him against Sherman, and he stepped up big. He's 4,200 at a great price. Not really looking for running backs in this game as well. Philadelphia has a good run D, and then Philadelphia has a good run D, and against Seattle, Philadelphia runs a committee, and you don't know which one. Ajayi, it just came out that Ajayi was going to have a notable role, and he's splitting carries with Boston Scott and Miles Sanders. I don't want to figure that out, okay? One sleeper running back I was thinking of that was cheap and is a number one running back. It's just he has to get in the end zone. Was Sony Michel. In this game, at home, New England, I think they control and dominate Dallas. This Dak Prescott comes to stop. He's been hot lately, but running into this number one defense, and they can control it with their defense and control the trenches with this running game. And Sony Michel, I think he is a decent option for someone to get touchdowns and is the lead back for the Patriots. It's risky, but I think he has the ability to do it. Already seen 20 points against the Jets, 20 points against Washington, 13 against Miami, and 13 against the Giants. Hasn't gone over 100 yards yet. It is possible that he can in this one to help that passing game because they are struggling. If you have the run game going, then that play action happens, and then Tom Brady can pick and choose whoever he wants to throw to. He already has a consistent Edelman, but he needs to get Mohamed Sanu more acclimated. He might not play, and N'Keal Harry, the rookie. Okay. So that's all I have for you this week for week 12. Focusing on those stacks, like I said before. Definitely the Cleveland side in that game with Baker Mayfield to Odell Beckham. I love that Atlanta and Tampa Bay game. Julio Jones is a lock for me. Bring it back with Chris Godwin. The Jets game, I love Sam Darnold against that bad Oakland defense. Hopefully, Robbie Anderson finally has a huge game. And then this Philadelphia-Seattle game, I think, is going to be a little high scoring. Love Carson Wentz to bounce back with Alshon Jeffrey, Zach Ertz. Bring it back with either Lockett or Josh Gordon. And like I said, sleeper running back in Sony Michel. And that's pretty much it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. I believe I have 87 subscribers. I want to get to 90. Please follow me on Twitter at MeshNetSD, on Instagram at MeshNetSD, and please subscribe to my channel. I want to get over 90. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you soon with another video. All right, peace.